If your mind feels noisy, this is a place for clarity. Welcome to quietly thinking again.
You can be doing everything right and still feel completely stuck. Your days are full. Your mind is always working. You're trying to improve, trying to move forward, trying not to fall behind. And yet, nothing feels like it's actually changing. At some point, a quiet question starts repeating in your head. If I'm putting in this much effort, why does my life still feel frozen? That question is heavier than it sounds because it carries frustration, self-doubt, and often shame. It makes you wonder if you missed something important, if everyone else understands life better than you do, if you're somehow failing at something that's supposed to be obvious. And the hardest part is this. From the outside, you might look fine, capable, responsible, even successful in some ways. But on the inside, it feels like you're standing still while time keeps moving. Most people believe feeling stuck means they lack motivation, clarity, or discipline. So when they feel stuck, they respond by trying to fix themselves. They push harder, they make more plans, they set stricter routines, they consume more advice, more podcasts, more content telling them how to get their life together. And when that doesn't work, they turn the pressure inward. They tell themselves they're lazy, undisciplined, ungrateful, behind. But here's the uncomfortable truth most people never hear. Feeling stuck is rarely about effort, it's about safety. At some point in your life, moving forward came with a cost. Maybe you pushed too hard and burned out. Maybe you chased a goal that drained you instead of fulfilling you. Maybe you failed publicly and it left a mark. Maybe success brought expectations you couldn't live up to. Maybe change meant losing people, stability, or a sense of who you were. Your nervous system remembers those moments, not as stories, but as sensations. Tension, exhaustion, fear, pressure. So it learns something very important. Progress can be dangerous. Now, even when you consciously want change, part of you hesitates. That hesitation isn't laziness, it's protection. This is why you can know exactly what you should do and still feel unable to do it. Why sending one email can feel overwhelming. Why starting something new feels heavy before you even begin. Why you procrastinate on things that matter deeply to you. Why rest doesn't actually feel restful and productivity feels forced. This isn't a mindset problem. It's not a lack of willpower. It's your nervous system trying to prevent you from repeating pain. Another truth that's hard to accept: clarity usually doesn't come before movement. It comes after. We're taught that we should wait until things make sense, until we feel confident, until we're sure we won't regret our choice. But when life changes, the old map stops working. What used to motivate you might not anymore. What used to matter may feel empty. What used to define you might feel too small. So you wait, you overthink, you analyze every option, and in that waiting, you stay frozen. Feeling stuck is often a sign that an old version of you no longer fits, but the next version hasn't fully formed yet. This in-between space feels deeply uncomfortable. There's no clear identity to hold on to, no label that explains where you are, no reassurance that you're doing the right thing. So the mind tries to fill the gap with stories. I'm falling behind. I wasted too much time. Everyone else has it figured out. I should be further along by now. But this space isn't failure, it's transition. Transitions are slow because your system is recalibrating. It's letting go of old goals, old definitions of success, old expectations that no longer fit your life. It's quietly asking new questions. What actually matters now? What pace can I sustain without losing myself? What kind of life feels honest, not just impressive? But the problem is, most advice doesn't respect this phase. It tells you to push through uncertainty, to override resistance, to hustle until clarity appears. But pressure doesn't create clarity, It creates shutdown. When your nervous system feels unsafe, motivation disappears, focus fades, decisions feel impossible. So you try harder, feel worse, and start believing something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. You're trying to move forward using tools that worked in a different season of your life. And those tools aren't wrong, they're just outdated. You don't need more pressure. You don't need harsher self-talk. You don't need to force yourself into someone else's timeline. What you need is a different relationship with movement itself. What actually helps isn't motivation, it's safety. Instead of asking big, overwhelming questions like, what's my purpose? What should I be doing with my life? Why can't I get it together? Ask something smaller and more honest. What would feel slightly lighter right now? Not exciting, not impressive, just lighter. One step your body doesn't resist. One task you don't have to argue yourself into. One decision that reduces pressure instead of increasing it. It might be a short walk instead of a full workout. One paragraph instead of a full plan. One honest conversation instead of fixing everything at once. 10 focused minutes instead of an entire productive day. Do that step and then stop. Let your nervous system experience movement without threat. Let it learn that progress doesn't have to hurt. When you repeat this, something subtle but powerful happens. Your system starts to trust movement again. Energy returns slowly. Focus becomes steadier. Clarity forms through action, not force. You don't suddenly wake up with everything figured out, but you feel less frozen, less heavy, more present in your own life. You stop fighting yourself, and when that fight ends, momentum becomes possible. You don't get unstuck by pushing harder. You get unstuck by making forward motion feel safe again. That's what actually helps, and that's how life begins to open, one honest step at a time.
Take a moment to breathe. Clarity comes quietly. I'll see you next time.